What do we actually do when you do mind-body practice? And how is mind-body practice different from meditation? Because there's a lot of stuff on meditation, there's a lot of stuff of a lot of discussion, and meditation is incredibly important. It's in this incredibly busy, increasingly stressful, increasingly unstable world that we live in. It's a beautiful way to find the peace that is within us, which is meditation. So how does meditation differ from specific mind-body practice for reducing pain? And I thought a metaphor would be, if you imagine that there's a field, and in the one corner of the field, there's a really, really hot fire, and it's burning away. There's clouds of smoke coming up and there's big flames, okay? But it's only in one corner of the field. Meditation is that you have a rainstorm. So the clouds build up, the rain comes down, and as the rain comes down, everything is soothed. The fire is quietened down a bit, but that's all. So the fire keeps burning, but it's not quite as hot as it was, but it's by no means dealt with. If you're doing specific mind-body practice, you get a big hose, you walk over to the fire, and you put it out. So the one is a more non-specific, calming down everything. It will help your pain as part of a general quietening down. But if you really want to deal with your pain, you need to be specific. The next part of the question is, and look, if there's any, if you haven't, just interrupt me, I don't mind. I'm quite happy. So the question is how does this, how does any of this work? And it works through a neuroplastic process. You are changing the function of your mind. And now that we understand more, you're not only changing the function, but you're changing subtly the structure of your brain, of your mind. And you do this through a neuroplastic process. The basis of mind-body or anything in life is that you have to believe that it works. So that's your foundation. And belief, what is belief? Belief is the foundational process that makes us who we are. And belief is something which is deeper than, that's why it's foundational, which cannot be shaken. So if people believe something, they can be persecuted for thousands of years and they will still hang on to their belief. You cannot change, no one can change your belief, only you can. So you have to believe that you can bring about the changes in your mind so that your pain process can return to normal. Now, to believe something, sometimes you need proof. You don't always need proof. Do we have proof that there's God, and do we have proof that there's an afterlife, and do we have proof of nothing, of none of this, and yet millions and millions and billions of people believe, and that belief is incredibly powerful. But if we're talking about this, it may be that for you to have a belief, you need some kind of proof, as to proof that you're not wasting your time. And the cool thing is that you have that proof. And the proof is this, that your mind is constantly changing through a neuroplastic process. Okay, so this is what happens day by day by day by day throughout your life. The proof that you have is that there was a time when you didn't have pain. Then, through a neuroplastic process, the pain turned on. The pain turned on. The only way that chronic pain can turn all these areas in your brain and in your spinal cord can turn on is through a neuroplastic process. So you went from no pain or a good pain system to chronic pain through a neuroplastic process. The proof, what you need to know is that all you have to do is use the same process in reverse, and you can change your pain system from where it is now back to the way it was. And the way you did it before was through a neuroplastic process, which was unconscious. Now you're going to do a conscious neuroplastic process, returning your pain system back to natural function. And the way you do it, what we now recognize, is that you have a tool. And the tool is your attention. Your attention is the tool whereby you create your reality, and you can change the function and ultimately the structure of your brain. You need something else. So there's your belief. The belief becomes an intention. So I believe something. I now have an intention, which is changing my belief into something more concrete. My intention is that I am going to change my pain system. That's my intention. Back to normal. My tool is my attention, where I put my attention onto parts inside my mind. I put my attention in very particular ways to bring about what I want. So far we have, so you have your belief, which will then create an intention. You then will use your attention to do what? So what you use your attention to do is to change two things. The first is to change the synapses in your central nervous system. There are only 1 trillion of them. Remember, there are many, many billions of nerves. Each nerve has up to 10,000 dendrites, and each of those has a little synapse. So where one nerve talks to another is the synapse, and with your attention, you can change how those synapses work. When you have normal pain, they behave properly. When you have chronic pain, they become amplified, and they amplify and distort messages so that you feel pain much worse than damage. So with your attention, you are going to change the way those synapses work.